I found out something so horrifying about my adoptive baby's birth mother that I might give the baby back. My husband and I had spent 4 years trying to have a baby before we decided to adopt. The agency matched us with Yvonne, a 22-year-old who was 6 months pregnant. We met her and she seemed perfect, sweet, soft-spoken, and she wanted us involved in the pregnancy. Within weeks, we were texting every day. She came over to help set up the nursery. We went to ultrasound appointments together. By month 8, I loved her like a sister. She never talked about the baby's father except to say he wasn't in the picture. One afternoon while painting the nursery, she showed me family photos on her phone. "This is my brother," she said, showing me a picture of a young man who looked almost identical to her. Same brown hair, same eyes, same smile. We were really close growing up, but we don't see each other much anymore. She seemed sad about it. We were 3 days from her due date when Yvonne texted me at midnight. "I think something's wrong. I'm having really bad pains. Can you meet me at the hospital?" My heart was racing as I typed back that I'd be right there. My husband was out of town for work, so I drove to the hospital alone. The whole drive I was terrified that something had gone wrong with the baby. When I got to the emergency room, I ran up to the desk asking for Yvonne. The nurse checked her computer and said, "She's been admitted to room 120, second floor, turn left off the elevators." I practically ran to the elevators. My hands were shaking as I hit the button for the second floor. When the doors opened, I rushed down the hallway looking for her room number. Right before I got to 120, a man was coming out of her room. He looked exactly like Yvonne. Same brown hair, same facial structure, same eyes. They could have been twins. "Are you the adoptive mom?" he asked, looking relieved to see me. I nodded, trying to catch my breath. "I'm Yvonne's brother. She called me first because she was scared and didn't know what to do. I got here about 20 minutes ago. The nurses just checked on her and said it's false labor. She's going to be okay. The baby's fine." I felt like I could breathe again. Thank God. "Can I see her?" He nodded. "Yeah, she's been asking for you. I was just going to run down to the cafeteria to get some coffee. She's resting right now, but you should definitely go in." He seemed so normal, just a concerned brother taking care of his sister. He gave me a small smile and walked down the hallway toward the elevators. I was grateful that Yvonne had family here supporting her through this scary moment. 30 minutes later, I pushed open the door to her room without knocking because I didn't want to wake her if she was sleeping. What I saw made me freeze in the doorway. Yvonne was in the hospital bed and her brother was on top of her. They were having sex. The hospital gown was pushed up and his pants were around his ankles. For a split second, my brain couldn't process what I was seeing. Then they both turned their heads and saw me standing there. Yvonne screamed and tried to shove him off of her. He jumped off the bed and stumbled backward trying to pull his pants up. "Get out!" he yelled at me, but I couldn't move. I was frozen, staring at them in complete horror. "Oh my God," I finally managed to say. "You're the father." "He's the father." Yvonne was sobbing hysterically and trying to pull the hospital gown back down to cover herself. Please let me explain," she was saying over and over. But I was backing toward the door. My whole body was shaking. Everything suddenly made horrible sense. Why she never wanted to talk about the baby's father. Why she got so tense every time we brought it up. Why her brother had seemed so protective and concerned just minutes ago in the hallway. They'd been together this whole time. The brother took a step toward me with his hands up like he was approaching a wild animal. "You need to calm down and listen to me very carefully," he said in this low, threatening voice. "You cannot tell anyone about this. Do you understand me? If you tell anyone, we'll take the baby and disappear and you'll never see him again." Yvonne was still crying so hard she could barely get words out. "We love each other. We've been together for 3 years. I know everyone thinks it's disgusting and wrong, but we can't help how we feel. When I found out I was pregnant, we both knew immediately that we couldn't keep the baby because of the genetics and because of what people would think and say about us. That's why I picked you and your husband. I wanted him to have a good life with parents who could give him everything." She was looking at me with these desperate, pleading eyes. "I swear to God, I want what's best for him. That's why I chose you. You have to believe me." I looked at this girl I'd spent the last few months loving and bonding with and realized I didn't know her at all. Everything had been a lie. "I need to leave right now," I said, my voice shaking. The brother moved quickly to block the door. "Not until you promise us you won't tell anyone what you saw. Promise us right now." I shoved past him and ran down the hallway. I didn't answer Yvonne's calls for 3 days while my husband and I talked for hours about what to do. We decided to move forward with the adoption. Our son is 3 years old now and he's healthy and perfect. Yvonne visits twice a year and we've never told anyone the truth about who his father really is. But I still see them in that hospital room every single time I close my eyes.